outside, and it is very, very different. But when I saw it, it's so it is continually but when I saw it, so it is continually but when I saw it, so it is continually
The weather in London is warm, and I bring that warmth from India with me. Thank you indeed for making it here this evening. And I feel so privileged to have your company today, and I'm honored that you accepted the invite. The idea of this evening is that I am trying to introduce you to Lucknow, which is sort of an overlooked tourist destination. I don't know for what reason. There are many reasons, and when we meet individually, we will discuss about the reasons. But at the moment, I think it could be the lack of knowledge that is probably keeping you away from promoting Lucknow in a big way. UK, otherwise, if you see, has had a direct and an automatic connect. So if you see the clients who are 55 plus of age, and that's the age of travelers that you have usually from UK or even more than that, they understand what the days of Raj were, what were the days before that, and where Lucknow falls. So you will not have to do much of exercise in making your clients understand where this is small city, which you think is a small, but has wider and huge roads, huge buildings, which are just equivalent to the British presidencies and capitals in India. So that's the idea of this evening, where we have all gathered to of course, understand the destination. Now, while we are sitting here, there's a very interesting exhibition going on at the Buckingham, and I've not been paid by the Queen to promote it, but definitely I really enjoyed visiting this exhibition. So I just wanted you to understand the connect. Now, this is Prince Albert Edward, who became Edward the Seventh. And he visited Lucknow. He visited Lucknow as Prince of Wales. He visited Lucknow, and his visit has been documented in this exhibition that I'm talking about. There are lovely gifts that are kept there, which were presented to him by the different royalties in India. But the main reason of his visit to Lucknow was to pay tributes to the lost during the mutiny of 1857, which was very, very tragic. So he visited the residency, which probably your guests visit today, and you can see the prince meeting the soldiers who were alive then, some of them wounded. So this is a picture from that time, which I discovered and thought that I should tell you about. And you can see Prince Edward meeting the soldiers in the residency. So that was the idea of his visit to the residency. The royal party then also visited Kanpur. Kanpur was a place which had the bloodiest siege and the most tragic of incidents ever that the British faced. There were people, there were ladies, children who were slaughtered actually, not killed. So that was Kanpur, and the royal party then moved on to Kanpur. and he paid homage to the departed at this monument, which was erected then at a place called the Bibi Ghar. The Bibi Ghar still exists. The monument, of course, has been shifted to another place which was affected, called the Wheelers' Entrenchment. All this is a part of your Kanpur tour. After that, we had another Prince of Wales who visited Lucknow. So this was Prince George, who came in 1905 as Prince of Wales, who became later King George. Now, he visited the residency. He played a horse polo. He did some horse racing at the race course. We have an anti-clockwise racing in Lucknow race course. So that's another piece of information for you. So, and then he laid the foundation stone of a medical university, which is still called the King George Medical University in Lucknow. And he was with his wife, Queen Mary. The hospital for the women is still called the Queen Mary's Hospital, and I was born there. So this is the picture where the prince and the princess are laying the foundation stone. Now, the idea of these pictures, or this part of the presentation, was to connect you to my small overlooked city, Lucknow. Lucknow is not that small, as I said, and we have grown over years. 24 years being into business, I've seen it grow with just one or two guests coming in. It was very difficult for us to survive, but we survived, and today we're well off. Everything in Lucknow is quite unique. Now, if you go to India, you have experienced the salutation which is called Namaste. Everybody does Namaste in India, or Jai Ram Ji Ki. Or a Muslim would say Salam Alaikum. So these somehow denote your religion. But in Lucknow, we don't use any of these salutations, and we just do Adab, which simply means respect to you. And a Hindu also does an Adab, and a Muslim also does an Adab. By the way, this is Aishwarya Rai, our most beautiful actress in India, who's doing Adab at the moment. So that's how unique we are. Now, our history began with the Nawabs, who were brought in by the Mughals. Mughals divided India into few states, and Awadh was one of these. Now, for better administration, they brought in Nawabs, or people from Persia. They were simple administrators or governors, and they gave Awadh to them to control. Later on, they declared themselves independent, and they became a kind of a kingdom. So the Nawab who shifted there, the earlier capital was Faizabad, which is about 150 odd kilometers from Lucknow. And Nawab Asif-ud-Dawla in 1775 shifted the capital to Lucknow. So with that, Lucknow changed to what it became later and to what it is. Culture, mannerism, art of speech, monuments, buildings, everything started. It's something very natural for a capital to be shifted to a place and things start shaping up. And the last Nawab was Wajid Ali Shah, who was deposed in 1856 by the British, sent to Calcutta, and that's where Lucknow paused. But it began again later on. New buildings, which were buildings made by the British marvels of engineering, the railways and everything, came into Lucknow, and things changed. Now everything till 1857 was nice in Lucknow. 56 Wajid Ali Shah was deposed to Calcutta, and after he was gone, he did not surrender to the British, but he was also not sort of supporting his wife and others to get into a struggle with the British. So he thought it's better that he moves out, and he was moved to Calcutta. And in 1857, the mutiny took place, and Lucknow was one of the worst sieged places. So it saw about 2,000 people dead, 2,000 British people dead, including women and children. Not so many died of bullet injuries, but most of them also died of cholera and other diseases, lack of sanitation and water supply and all those problems. We have maintained this huge, very, very powerful British complex as it was left devastated and destructed in 1857. If you see the walls, you can see the bullet and the cannonball marks on it. It's a huge 33-acre complex, a very, very powerful visit, which is good for about half a day, 3 hours for your British clients at times. So these are not the only monuments. We have many monuments, including for the people who are interested in the Indian Mutiny or have known General Havelock, whose statue is at the Trafalgar here. He is buried in Lucknow. So he died in action, not exactly in action, but yes, during the mutiny, and he is buried in Lucknow. So that's another connect. So you can see his statue at the Trafalgar and pay homage to him in Lucknow. Then of course comes the cuisine. Persian influenced cuisine, very unique to Lucknow. A lot of inspiration comes from the Mughal emperors, but the chefs, the cooks in Lucknow were the most highly paid subjects of the Nawabs. So the food is still a point to be talked in detail about. Slow dum cooking, food cooked on slow fire. So these are some of the specialities of our cuisine. We still have 55 surviving varieties of kebabs. So, and each kebab has almost the same number of breads, so it's not like you can eat any kebab with any bread. So now it's of course a modern city with wide roads. We have 2 airports already, domestic and an international. The third terminal, a bigger terminal, is just about the construction is already started. 1 line of metro is already working, and of course Lucknow is cluttered at the moment for another year or so till the metro work is on. But by 2019 we will have metro covering entire city. So not such a huge city. It just takes about 30 kilometers to go from one point to another, the end point. So that's the entire time, maximum 45 minutes it takes you to get from one furthest point to another. Now reaching Lucknow is of course easier. From Delhi you have multiple flight options, about I think 12 flights a day, all through the day. Then Agra is just 3.5 hours drive from Lucknow through the new expressway. So it's Agra, Chambal and Lucknow. So that could be a great program. From Lucknow you have Kannauj, famous for its perfume, Ras of India it's called. So on the way, so 2.5 hours from Agra to Kannauj and another 2 hours into Lucknow. So that's a kind of a break journey. Dudua national park famous for its one-horned rhino, which were established or sort of brought in from the Kaziranga, and they have a sanctuary there. But also, it's one of the few tiger reserves where you actually have sighting these days. Not in Dudua, but places around it. So there are chances. So it's not like a picnic park like you have the Cobbett National Park. So it's more of picnickers that go there. So it's still wild and wild kind of a park. Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Rama. In contrast to Lucknow, it's a temple town, small town. Just 2 hours drive. Varanasi, 6 hours drive at the moment. And a 6 hours train journey, very convenient. But we are coming up with an express way to Varanasi, which will reduce the travel time again to about 3 hours. So wait for that, another 2 years, you will have a comfortable drive to Varanasi as well. Allahabad, the place that hosts Kumbh, is just 4 hours drive from Lucknow. And because Allahabad has a small airport, so Lucknow caters to the people coming into Lucknow, to Allahabad as an airport kind of a gateway. We have international flights from Dubai. So if you're thinking Emirates, you can connect straight from Dubai into Lucknow. We have flights from Singapore. We have flights from Bangkok. So you have a fair amount of things to do, if you're planning to take them away from Lucknow straight into Singapore or something, you can think of that as well. So we have international connections which will grow once the new airport comes in. There are talks of a straight flight from London to Lucknow. That's a piece of information. So a straight flight from London to Lucknow when the new airport comes in. So at the moment, we don't have that kind of a airstrip. So once that happens, so it's another maybe 2 years or so, we might be having a straight flight into the city. So still there are convenient connections where without giving a stopover in Delhi, you can always bring your guests to Lucknow. Hotels, of course, we have the iconic Taj Hotel, which is built in a huge area because now it's hard to get that kind of the area for hotels. It's just a two-floor hotel, two-story hotel, huge gardens, large swimming pool, nice looking property, with a colonial charm, a dome, metal covered dome and all those things. So it gives a very nice feel to the guests coming there. But of course, that's not the only option that we have in Lucknow. We have many. One of them, again, being the Lebua Hotel, which is a 1936 bungalow converted into a hotel now. So their luxury rooms are very nice. Of course, their basic rooms I may not recommend. So their luxury rooms are very nice. The property is just 45 keys. So that's another option that you can look at. Marriott, by the way, has two hotels, the Renaissance and the budget Fairfield Hotel. We have other properties like Hyatt, and almost all the brands are there. Sheraton is just under construction. We have 4 Points as well, which is under construction. Budget properties, we have many, Hilton Garden and Sarovar, Portico. So you don't have dearth of rooms, and any budget, you have a room in Lucknow. So at the moment, we are 75% over in terms of inventory than what actually we have. So expect some good prices as well. Now just a bit about us. We started out in 1994. We're a very small kind of a company. We don't want to grow big deliberately. We are otherwise an experiential tour company, and our topics range from history, Indian mutiny, gastronomy, yes, in a big way, crafts and performing arts. So these are our main areas where we specialize in. got stuck.
Oh, it's been hanging, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway. So I just quickly take you through the different experiences that we have in Lucknow. So of course we introduced presumably India's first walking tour in 1994, the time when we ourselves did not know that what we were doing. I mean, we didn't call it a walking tour. We just called it crossing a lane or something of that sort. I don't even remember. So, but that's not the reason that's why our walking tours are popular. The main reason is that our walking tours are not led by general tourist guides. They're led by specialists. So when you're taking a walking tour, a guide cannot do that walking tour. It has to be different kind of a background, the history, the pinpointed specific research that goes into it. Now this is a heritage walk which was introduced. This was the first walking tour that we introduced in 1994. In about 1.5 hours, we show you a lane which is a kind of a living museum of crafts. Indian street food, oh my god, they will fall sick. But none of them has ever fallen sick since 1997.
Maybe from eating too much.
So it's not because of that. It's because of these small shops prepare the freshest food. They don't have a concept of refrigeration. So they just make the quantity which is sold for that day. So maybe if you're late to their shops, it might just get over. So this food walk is taking you to the shops, the eateries, where the story actually began, where the dishes were actually invented. So it is one of the most popular tours, and 90% of our food walking clients are foreign nationals. And of course, most of them British and Australians. These are the two nationalities who are. Now, this is another interesting walking tour which was designed by Dr. Rosie Llewellyn Jones, right here with us. And this takes you through an old marketplace which is called Hazratganj. This is a very British kind of a marketplace. It has colonial tones to it. This is Cliff Richards, who was born here. Now, Sir Cliff Richard was not only born here, but he may not claim. I think recently he has claimed that he is Anglo-Indian. Admitted it now. So for quite some time he's not admitting it. And we had discussion on this part. But now that he's admitted, so he's a star. We have So another interesting tour is, interesting walk is the Wajid Ali Shah walk. Now, of course, it is taking you through a destroyed palace complex, which was mindlessly destroyed by the British after the failed mutiny, because it was in revenge that this was one of the most beautiful palaces ever built. Some say that it was better and more beautiful than Versailles. So, but it was destroyed because it was built by the last ruler, Wajid Ali Shah. And but we take you and reconstruct this palace complex. And the most important part of this walk is it ends at a filmmaker's home whose name is Muzaffar Ali. So we have taken his home and converted the lower portion into a museum. And his home is to us. So he lives in Lucknow very rarely. So he's been kind enough to give the keys to his home to us, and we can take our guests there, offer them a cup of tea. The guest can see the beautiful collection of calligraphy, his work of art, his collection, his home decor and everything. And it is a part of the destroyed palace complex actually. So you are actually peeping inside one of the small portions of the package, the palace, when you're going into this walk. And then we have many other walks. So we have about 8 to 9 walking tours, but these were the most popular that I wanted to talk about. Gastronomical experiences, of course, we are doing it big way. Lot of things pan-India, and we have just last year made a new brand which is called the Gastro. So that's another piece of information. We are the only company that's employing chefs actually to do the food walk. So now you can understand the difference between a normal tourist guide doing a food walk and a chef doing a food walk. So that's the kind of quality that we are trying to give. Now, we have a small kitchen, about 150 square feet kitchen. This is our facility where we do food demonstrations. We sort of recreate lost recipes. It's good for a maximum of about 6 people, and it's just one expert and your guest. So it often goes very well with a couple or two, or maybe single as well. So it's a one-to-one kind of a food, not demonstration, not a touristy demonstration, but a proper exclusive meal which is cooked. The guests get to learn the entire process, cook themselves under supervision, and they dine there itself. So it's called Cookina. Then we have curated some home dining experiences. The video that you see is of the Kotwara house, where, of course, which is the home of Muzaffar Ali. Here we are taking you for tea, mind you, on the walking tour, one of the walking tours. And this one is a home dining experience. So the menu is decided by the family, of course, based on your inputs, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, allergies, etc. The recipes are the family secret recipes that are done here, and under this product you may not get to, of course this one was unique because Muzaffar and Meera were there at the time and these guests were there, so they were dining. But if they are in residence, they'll be happy to dine. But if they are not in residence, the guests can always, they're welcome, and our team takes care. The cooks are the family cooks of the Kotwara house. Now, this video that you see is from the another product that is the Dine with Maharaja. So it's more of entertainment. So food is, of course, it is local food, but of course the focus is not food here. It's more of the interpreted dance form, local dance form, Kathak, lots of wine, and of course food. So this is a Victorian sort of a palace, which a city palace, which still has face plates of Queen Victoria on each grill of it, each window grill. So that's a kind of a palace which is still maintained within the cluttered city, basically. Tea with Nawab is another high point where after you've done the sightseeing of Lucknow, we take you to Nawab Sahab and you get to meet him over a cup of tea. He's very articulate and a nice chubby Nawab, and so you will really enjoy meeting him and greeting him. And, so yeah, we'll organize a meeting for you on your Lucknow visit.
Oh,
Done. That's a deal. So Christine is coming to Lucknow as a part of the UP Travel March. So Vasu, you're also in for that.
Oh.
So we might just, go and say hello to him. So this is another unique product where you are given a hands-on experience on embroidery. So it's about 4 to 5 hours session where you get to actually learn the art of chikan. So this is basically for ladies group or people who are really interested in learning this craft of chicken. So it's they get their own personal equipments, and the session is complete after you've seen the zari work also, you learnt it, because of course zari cannot be replicated, it cannot be done at home. So this is a home embroidery session which is going on, and it also has a Rastogi meal. Rastogi is a community that sells chicken basically, it's a trading community. They have a very particular kind of a meal, a different kind of a meal which is vegetarian. So you have that as a part of lunch, and after lunch you learn a bit about the zari embroidery. Now we've crafted some special mutiny tours around Lucknow and Kanpur. So it's revisiting Lucknow of 1857-58 and revisiting Kanpur of 1857. These are tours that include site visits. Some of them are not accessible to tourists, not always open, but we ensure that you visit all these sites which are connected to the uprising of 1857. So that's Lucknow mutiny visits and how it all changed. Actually, mutiny changed the way British saw India, and it was just after that mutiny that the East India Company was out and the powers went on. So this was a decisive kind of a event that happened in India. And then only the things changed for the British, and British also learned a lot how to manage well. So that was a great learning experience. We have also crafted two options for Maharaja Express. So Maharaja's Express on one of its itineraries, Indian Panorama, has its last day in Lucknow, 7th day. And after lunch the guests are free and they are sort of taken to the train after lunch. And nothing after that. So till night they are at the station in the train. So what we can do is we pick up your guests from the hotel where they are having lunch after their normal, without disturbing their Maharaja itinerary. Maharaja's Express will allow it. You can gift it to your clients as an incentive to buy Maharaja's Express from you, or you can ask them to buy this experience. One experience can be taking them to Kotwara House, Muzaffar Ali's home, having a cup of tea, watching some craft persons work on chicken, doing the embroidery. The other experience could be a visit to La Martiniere, which is not included in the Maharaja's itinerary, obviously, because it is not a general monument. So we can visit La Martiniere, have a refreshing afternoon tea there, with scones, the cucumber sandwiches, and Darjeeling tea. So we can do that at La Martiniere, and after doing this experience, they can be dropped to the train without disturbing any of Maharaja's itinerary. Ayodhya, as I said, is just 2 hours drive, birthplace of Lord Rama, very different from Varanasi. We have curated some tours. Mokshadayini Ayodhya tour is a recommended tour by Lonely Planet. It is not only temple visits, it's a visit to Gurukul where you see children learning the chants, the Hindu chants, where you have your lunch with a Mahant in his temple. Philippa has done this, and I think she enjoyed it. So that's the kind of experience we are trying to give in our Ayodhya tour.
This also is very special too.
So this could be interesting because it's in Varanasi, you only get to see the Aarti on the ghats. Here, the Aarti is done in your name that day. You know. So when they're doing Aarti, they're doing some chants which are blessing you. So Philippa, you can just you can
Very special.
you can just, because you can't understand the shlokas, the verses, but you can of course understand your name going, and everybody's there blessing you. You know, about hundreds of people watching that Aarti.
It's all about me.
So then of course I was just speaking to you about this grass of India, Kannauj. Just 2 hours drive from Lucknow, so you can do it en route from Agra to Lucknow or Lucknow to Agra. So, are you going to Kannauj? Okay, great. So, Kannauj will give you a quite unpretentious perfume making experience, still in a traditional manner. Itr, essential oils, mostly from flowers, but there is a special kind of itr that's made in Kannauj, where they have tried to capture the scent of the first raindrop on the dry mud. So that's called a khas itr. So you get to, in this experience, you not only get to learn how they are still doing it the traditional way, you are meeting a perfumer there, understanding how he's been working, going to his store, having a cup of tea there with him, and then lunch also in Kannauj, of course, because that would be that time. So then other festive experience, of course, wherever there's a festival, we also go crazy. So if it's Holi and your guests are there, by virtue of them being there, they will get to celebrate Holi with us. This is the scene of the namaz on Eid. So Eid, when the monuments are shut till the day, so it's not that your guests are just holed up in the hotel. They are being taken to see all the festivities around. We have Ramadan night tours. We have Ramadan food tours. So these are some special tours that we craft around festivals. The new experiences for 2018 that we are just about to introduce, October 2018. The first one being a French experience, the French influence on Lucknow. So I don't even know how to pronounce this. Un morceau de France. So that's the problem. But then, and nothing is in French, so it's in English. So because we don't have French guides there, people don't know French. So Weeping Lucknow is another product. It's crafted around Muharram. So it's the time of Muharram, attending a interpreted sermon, going to one of the processions, etc. And then learning calligraphy. So these are our subjects of expertise, which is Indian Mutiny. We are doing a lot of Indian Mutiny things in the north of India, white labeled kind of tours for many operators. Cemeteries, Dr. Jones has introduced us to as a part of the British Association of Cemeteries. And gastronomy in a big way with our new brand now in the process. Awadh history, traditional crafts, performing arts. So when it's Kathak, it's interpreted, because when you understand that what the lady is dancing about, then only you appreciate her moves, her steps. So that's the idea of performing arts. Now this was just to give you an idea of what we can do for you in Lucknow. Now when we move on to the next part of this evening, I take this opportunity to introduce
30 seconds, we'll do the lucky draw, and food is on the way. So we've got four of these books here. The Last King in India. Guess what? I haven't got my name in there, and I'm really regretting it. Maybe I would have got one of these. So who's going to take out? Anyone? Let's just get.
You take.
Oh, I wish I put mine in.
I think Thomas is the youngest guy here.
Yeah, so you can do one. I'm the eldest, maybe.
Definitely not.
Okay, go on then. We need to take out four.
One
each. So let's just pass this in. Oh, there you are.
And you can announce the name.
Yeah, I will. And then you can just pass.
I was bald
Take
there.
one. Oh, well done.
Did you a favour there? That's brilliant. Oh, thank you very much.
Aisha Cronin. There you go.
Nisha.
It's me.
Oh, there you go. Nisha.
Thank you.
And there's one more to go. I hope you like reading these books. You're fond of
How about my
history,
notes?
you like Ladies and gentlemen, there's some more wine and there's hot food. Please join us for dinner. Thank you very much. Thank you.